anthem of South Africa. Thank you very much.
Hello and welcome to our match day 2, game number 3 of the Nigerian Women's Invitational Tournament, live here at the TBS in Lagos, where South Africa under 19 will be taking on Team Ghana. Ghana will be looking to bounce back from yesterday's defeat against Team Rwanda, whereas South Africa will be geared up for their very first game on Nigerian soil. Should be an interesting game, but before we get started, let's find out what happened at the toss with my mate Peter. All right, you heard it loud and clear from the two captains. Mika Van Voster, for the very first time here in Nigeria, has won the toss. And South Africa under 19s will be having a bat first. Should be a cracker over game. Let's have a look at the two sides. Ghana, of course, have made one change. The captain, Jacqueline Kokama, Anor Elizabeth, Sagoe, Ellen Etu Esante, Grace Esun, Ivy Yebo, Kate, who was very impressive with the bat yesterday, Miriam Eshun, who will be very key in this particular game with the ball in hand, Rashidat Tusalia, another experienced player in the side, Rebecca Adote, Grace and Esther Bakiwema. Whereas the South Africa under-19s led by the captain, Mika Van Voster, Ashley Van Vyker, Ashley Bernard, Bruzan Hosen, Chanel Vental, Jane Lee Filanda, Canelo Mokwena, Mia Laro, Retabilim Toba, Sifokule Masilela, and Zia Monlal and Kyla Vankel will be taking the field for the South Africa under-19s. Last prayer there from the South Africa under-19s. Of course, they are very geared up. I won't be alone here in the commentary box. I'll be joined by Mr. Andy. Welcome and a very good morning.
Good morning, Bob. Interesting atmosphere here. South Africa under 19 starting preparations for their big World Cup campaign. have made this a stop point. And this is a crucial tournament for sure, but they will be taking on Ghana today, who really struggled against that Rwandan team yesterday. We called it a funny day, but I'll tell you what, these Ghanaians are getting better, having been away from international cricket for the past 3 years. The women's team are back here in Lagos, the commercial city of Nigeria. And of course, we had the news from the center. South Africa will be looking to build something here and ensure a decent net run rate while they go into this one.
Taking their time, of course, to set the field for the very first ball of match day 2, game number 3. Out walks the two openers, Chanel Fentar and Ashley Bernard, two experienced players, players who featured, of course, for the previous Under-19 World Cup. Should be a cracker over game. Very, of course, eager to take the field. The two sides, we're still 9 minutes away from the very first ball. Let's have a look at the leading run scorers from day 1. Fanny Utagushima Ninde, impressive figures there on debut, scoring the first centurion on debut in women's cricket. Followed by Owase Merveille. You can see the difference between those two.
I'll tell you what, Bob, what interests me is the strike rate, 170.7, 168. From those two, that partnership was worth it for Rwanda. It was a funny day yesterday. Hopefully we get some good names out here today. We see Lucky Piety there, just 21, with strike rate of 110. Bowling chart for you after day 1. Peace Hussein tops there with 3, shares it with Belise, Murika Tete, and Anointed Aigbe. 3 wickets apiece. Economy rates interesting. Henriette 2.50. That looks interesting. Hopefully she comes up with some wickets to be at the top there. We've only seen 150 so far, and that's from that funny girl. You can say,
what a gem of a player yesterday. She gave us the best day you'd ever expect for on match day 1, of course, with the 17 boundaries, leading the charter in boundaries and of course with runs. Of course, talking about yesterday's game against Team Ghana, where Rwanda, of course, posted the highest total ever in the Nigeria Invitational tournament. So South Africa, given that they have won the toss and decided to have a bat first, this is a very big opportunity for them to see if they can even get closer to that 200 mark. They have the likes of Mika, the captain, Van Voster, Ashley, Van Wyk, Chanel Veta, I beg your pardon, and Jan Leah Filanda, who featured for the previous Under-19 World Cup.
Bob, how important is this tournament to the African continent? This is the 5th edition, and Nigerian Cricket Federation are keen on ensuring that women's cricket becomes a big thing. We've seen countries, from East Africa, Rwanda being consistent with that bilateral start on the first edition, and then we've seen Tanzania coming, we've seen Uganda coming. How important is it for African cricket, Bob?
To me, Andy, to be honest, it's an opportunity for the youngsters to showcase their skills. When you look at the average age in this particular 5th edition, it's around 18, 17. That tells you a thing or two. We've seen, of course, players like Kylie Raneke, who was the captain of the previous Under-19, South Africa Under-19. She's now featured for the Proteas women's national team. She's won them 2 games so far in the 5 games she's played. So you never know, as back at home they say selectors are watching. This is a very big exposure for these youngsters.
Thank you very much, Bob. And this was brought to you, thanks to our sponsors, Providos Bank, Russo Advisory, Duffabet. You can call them. This is the experience we're giving you. And thank you very much to our sponsors. If you're viewing from around the world, this is the 5th edition of the Nigerian Cricket Federation Women's Invitational Tournament. And in this tournament, we have Zimbabwean under-19, South African under-19, Rwanda and Ghana joining Nigeria in this 5th edition.
Allow me to put you on the spot. As you see, we still have 5 more minutes. You, especially Andy, as a host nation, Nigeria, what does this mean to you guys here hosting the 5th edition with the 2 test nations, South Africa and Nigeria? I beg your pardon, South Africa and Zimbabwe.
Well, I'll tell you what. These are good moments for Nigerian cricket. The fact that test playing nations could trust that we could host a tournament. However, this is as a result of the previous tournaments we've hosted, the under-19 World Cup qualifiers here in Lagos, and we also had a few tournaments in Abuja. It shows the organizational strength the Nigerian cricket has and the relationship we're building with all these countries. This is what it should be. If you look at what is happening in Asia with the Asian Cricket Council, you see the relationship there between the test playing nations and other associate nations in Asia, and that is what we are trying to do with Nigeria. And the participation in this tournament, with the fact that we have Zimbabwe and South Africa here, it's a delight for us.
Do you expect to see the likes of India setting the under-19s in the 6th edition?
Well, we might be lucky, hopefully someday, but the Nigerian Cricket Federation is working hard to get there.
All right, the umpires walk on.
Umpires for today, Kende, Olabinwonu and Rajesh would be doing the honors on-field umpires, and we see there the batters strolling in, excitement around the inner ring there with the Ghanaian players running around and taking their positions. The good thing is, yes, that South Africa under-19 won the toss and they are batting. We're going to be seeing some real excitement. The warm-up showed earlier. Plenty of potentials in this tournament. The excitement is that come during the World Cup, you will be seeing minimum of 20 players from here. Most likely going to be there because later, sometime in the year, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Rwanda will be playing in that under-19 qualifiers. And the Nigerian team is made up of at least 8 under-19 players. So they're pretty much same ages here. So it's an opportunity for them as well.
One of course, the tournaments you can't afford to miss, Andy. Shot number 1, Chanel Ventel and Ashley Bernard will be opening the batting for the South Africa under-19s. The sun is out here at the TBS in Lagos. Beautiful day, of course, of cricket, wherever you're catching us live. Opening the bowling for Team Ghana. Will be, of course, the experienced Kate Awa. She's been in the side. She has played all the editions in this Nigeria Women's Invitational Tournament. She has a sleeping play, the extra cover, long offer, the only 2 fielders outside the ringer. Almost ready for the very first ball of match day 2, game number 3. South Africa, of course, if you're just joining us live, South Africa under-19s won the toss and decided to have a bat first. And the umpire came to say his play. Fast ball from Kate. Down the leg side straight away as the South Africa under-19s get off the mark. Leg by signal by the umpire. These two, of course, they have some experience with them is Ashley Bernard and Chanel Fantard. But again, I would love to see them face a couple of deliveries, get to know how the pitch is playing, and then maybe later on you can unleash and play in another gear. It is, of course, their very first time playing on the Nigerian soil. We saw yesterday, it is a belter over wicket. It will give you runs. Swing and a miss on that occasion from Ashley Bernard. Kind of wicket, Andy, will give you credit for your shots. The outfield is being electric. We saw yesterday everything that passes the fielder. It's going to be a very, very big task to save.
The ground staff they've been very, very handy here. Trust me, week in, week out on the build up to this tournament. Soft hands there, good areas. Keita Ua for Ghana was trying to keep things simple. Yesterday they toyed. Let's hope that they are able to get some value here. They've got to back themselves up. They can only get better from here.
Get better. Yesterday they put on a shot of their own with the bat, of course, given they were chasing a mammoth over Toto. Full on the occasion now, all driven as she gets off the mark in style. Looking for the second batter. Her partner says, hold your horse. We still have a long way to go. They managed to play out all the 20 overs. Against one of the favorites in this 5th edition, Team Rwanda, is Team Ghana, having not played international cricket for the last 3 years. A lot of credit, you'd say, and a lot of positives they took in the first game.
Noisy call. Bit of confusion in the middle there. Chanel wanting that single, but Ashley says no. It's a decent call. Can't agree less about Ghana cricket. This is an opportunity for them to continue to grow the women's game. It's good to see that South Africa. A brilliant shot. Will this be the first boundary? And yes, it is on the mark straight away. The channel, short pitch delivery, drifting down the leg side.
Not the best ball there from Kate Awad, experienced one. Half striker, and Chanel, of course, obliged and picks up the very first boundary of the game as we come to the end of the first over. It is 6-0. Christina Sago will be sharing the new cherry with her experienced Kate coming in from the Court of Appeal end. She has a short third man, long on, and deep extra cover, the two boundary riders. Left arm orthodox. Watfully played by Ashley Bernard. Enticing delivery there from Ernestina. Full again, well square driven, but there was protection in the deeper. They're looking for the double, but they will settle for only one run at these two. Should be an interesting matchup. Left arm orthodox spinning it away from the right-handers. Getting some little bit of bat chaser on her third delivery is Ernestina. Interesting field set here, you'd say, Andy. They have a slip in play and the point. There's no short third man or even third man. And given the way she's been offering some width, takes a little shimmy on the occasion. Up and over. One bounce over the ropes.
A beautiful shot. Channel flighted coming down the line into the line of the delivery and finds a big gap above extra covers for the much deserved boundary. And this clearly shows some decent intent. I think I'll agree with the captain's placement considering the pace of the bowler.
Into the pads. But again, when you look at that boundary, Andy, very smartly done, despite, of course, going for the boundary. She saw Ashley Bernard, I beg your pardon, Chanel, taking that little shimmy and try to ball it away from her reach. But well enough from Bernard. She had enough connection, allowing the ball to go all the way to the boundary. That should be the end of the second. It is a 12-0, moving at 6 runs and over is the South Africa under 19s. Kate will be bowling a second from the pavilion end. She went for only 6 in her very first over. Change of pace on that occasion. Deceived by that leg cutter. Very good line and length there from Kate. One of the players, of course, as we mentioned earlier, who possesses a lot of experience. She's been in this side for nearly 6 years. They would expect her to make the inroads as soon as possible. Takes a little shimmy in the air this time round. There's a fielder in the deep. Oh, what a take there from the fielder. She had to cover a lot of ground from deep extra cover as Kate Awa breaks the shackles as she picks up the very first wicket. And it's the dangerous Chanel who has to depart. She takes the long way back to the dugout. She doesn't believe that that catch was taken. Nearly took 10 meters or even more to take that catch. It is, of course, as we mentioned earlier, Andy, the positives they take from the defeat against Team Rwanda, and they've made sure they've broken the partnership.
It's always going to be the case. It was there. She goes big on the offside, but the fielder comes around and takes a brilliant catch. This is what we call development and daily growth here. We've seen the struggle yesterday, but the excitement here, you can see the bowler and the fielder getting a South African wicket. It's a delight to watch.
Delight to watch her as we see shot number 12. Masilela coming in, of course, at 1 down, but what a take. Yesterday we saw another fantastic catcher of Kate the bowler at a short fine leg. That catch of Giselle Ishimwe, and today a deep extra cover. A fielder who was very busy in yesterday's game, courtesy of Utakushima Ninde Fani, who made her look very busy in the power play, but this time round, losing her shape, Chanel ending up chipping a very, very easy catch. She made it look like an easy catch, but I'll tell you, Andy, that was a very, very difficult catch.
She had to cover some grounds before she got to that one. Masilela will take her first delivery. Wide that is. Umpire Kendi Olabinwanu has been around the Nigerian umpire scene for a long time. Experience, had a few international tournaments and African tournament cricket qualifiers. In Ketawa. This time driven past the fielder at short covers, and they get a couple, 2 runs from that one. Brilliant, beautiful run in between wickets between Sifokule and Ashley.
Very good way to get off the marker. Using her full face, works this one on the onside. Very, very good fielding. A short fine leg, denying them the chance of picking up a double. The fielding in the first 2.3 overs, it tells you a thing or two. They have improved in the span of 24 hours. Shows you how eager they are to learn and keep learning, of course. 16 for 1 after 2.4. And the fact that this time round they're not giving a lot of pace to the batters to work with. Forcing them, of course, to go for the big shots. Oh, nearly takes a blinder at backward pointer. Looking for the double. They should be home, safe and dry.
I kind of like the compactness of these South African batters. They're playing within their strengths and working things around. And that positive T20 approach is there. You can see the aggression by Ashley. Sifokule rotating the strike straight away. Hopefully they can forge that needed partnership to give South Africa a decent total, but they know clearly Ghana is a team you have to try and score as much as possible against. This time driven past the back cover region. A fielder comes around, manages to ensure they will just get 2 runs from that delivery. And clearly brings us to the end of the 3rd over. It is 20 for the loss of 1 wicket.
Have a look at that again on the replay with offered on other occasions. Oh, that was the catch. (20 for 1) after 3. Still moving at 6.6 runs and over is the South Africa under-19s. They would love to score as many runs as possible. Already the halfway stage of the power play. The next 18 deliveries, if they can get anything close to that 45 without losing any other wicket, I believe we should be in for yet another big total on this particular ground. Down the leg side again. Renasinda coming into ball, has second over from the Court of Appeal end. White signal by the umpire, who's making his debut in T20 internationals.
Rajesh, he loves to umpire. He travels around the world to umpire, and Nigeria deems it fit. He's been around for a long time to get a chance. A brilliant shot this time pierces the gap and the cover region. They will get a couple. Yes, fumble in the field. Oh, brilliant run in between these two, Ashley and Sifokule. Good call in between wickets as well. Like the positivity around the team, South Africa. Clearly understand what the plan is. If you're not getting boundaries, you're running the singles hard. And make sure the scoreboard is ticking. Oh, bold. Needless that, bold. She goes right across looking for that big gap on the leg side. Ashley will depart for 8 of 10 deliveries. Another break for Ghana, which would slow things down for South Africa under 19.
Very good bowling there from Inostina, left arm orthodox. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Took a little shimmy and caught in 2 minds, trying to play it into the vacant fine leg region. Eniga being bowled. She is leaving with herself, walking back at the dugout. These two were looking very, very comfortable at the crease. But Ghana had some other questions to be asked. 24 for 2 after 3.2 overs. Have a look at the wickets so far. That was one from Ventel, where the fielder covering a lot of ground from deep extra cover took a very, very fantastic catch. And the second, of course, Ashley being bowled by the young Eresina left arm orthodox. We saw a similar fashion of batting from the Zimbabwe under 19, where they of course bowled out for 80 runs.
The captain strolls on, Meka van Vugt, and will join Sifokule. The craze. She seemed pretty confident when she won the toss and said she would bat. And hopefully this decision would be worth it for South Africa. 7.2 and over. Projected on 144. Yesterday we saw a better projection by Rwanda as they progress into that innings, and hopefully South Africa can do the same thing. Straight up with a sweep. They get a second. So a good start for her.
Of the mark in style is the captain, Mika van Vost. Despite, of course, picking up that wicket, she's been bowling all over the pitch. I would love to see her sticking to that middle and off stump. Full on the occasion again, the square driven, but this time straight to the field at backward point, denying them that chance of that quick run. Gotta be very careful batting with Sifokule. She's very, very electric and lightning between the stumps. Slow in the air on that occasion, but well driven again to the fielder in the deep, a deep extra cover. The fielding has been superb for the Ghanaians.
Sifokule will take this delivery this time. Estesina from the Court of Appeal end of the TBS Cricket Oval. And this South African side have got a bit of experience with the captain being at the last Under-19 World Cup in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. You kind of like the presence of this team and how things have been planned for them to start preparation by coming to this tournament. 2 wickets for you. It's economy rated 6.50 and 6 between Keita and Estesina. 4 overs bowled, 27 for the loss of 2 wickets. And still progressing gradually at 6.7 per over. Well, this experience clearly. Hopefully they can climb from here and make something of this game. It's Tatina who will continue from the pavilion end. Beg your pardon. The bowling change, Rebecca Adotier will come from the pavilion end into our mark. Decent start straight away, decent line, but Maker just finding that gap in the inner ring. A bit of sloppy fielding there, but 2 runs from that one.
Very good batting from the captain, Mika van Voster, playing that one on the up with the full facer. But again, a lot of credit to Sifokule, putting pressure on the fielders to make sure they pick up another double. She's been putting pressure on the fielders so far. 29 for 2 after 4.1. Rebecca yesterday came in from the Court of Appeal end. She changes ends. Solid defense there from the captain. She knows she has to lead her side if they are to get to anything closer to that 120 plus runs. Of course, with her experience with the bat, the longer she stays at the crease, the more she occupies the crease, the more runs they will get. Gotta build partnerships. Something, of course, the Ghanaians have done tremendously well in the 4.2 overs, not allowing any partnership to settle. Cut away powerfully on the upper. No chance whatsoever for the fielder. Chasing that one as she picks up her first boundary is Mika van Vost.
That was pitch shot, and the power behind that one, say, on the up there, through the covers. A well-deserved boundary. The skipper leading the way, 9 of 6 already. Oh, the game sense here has been amazing from yesterday and today. And clearly, these cricketers, young as they are smart and know what they want. A bowler almost giving away another single, but no is the call between Maker and Sofokile.
Interesting technique there from Mika van Voster. She's playing most of the balls on the upper, and this time round she plays it very, very late. But the fielding in the power play has been very, very tremendously nice for the Ghanaians, not giving away any free runs. Could be a very dangerous batter in this tournament is Mika van Voster. Very good technique she has. She reminds me of the likes of Kevin Peterson back in the days. Standing still and tall.
And I see she's also trying to bat within her range. A missed opportunity there. Looks like it was there for the take. Guess dropping shot off the wicket keeper.
Have a look at that on the replay. Very good bowling again from Rebecca. Shaping away from the right-handers. Oh, edge not taken.
The drop catches perhaps coming up too early as a wicket keeper, and that's the end of the 5th over. It is 34 for the loss of 2 wickets. If you're just joining us, it is the Nigerian Women's Invitational Tournament, and it's into its 5th edition here. Countries participating: South Africa and Zimbabwe under 19s, Ghana, Rwanda, and Nigeria. Promising to be some 10 days of exciting cricket here.
Another change in the bowling as we see shot number 31, Esther Bakiwem, coming in to bowl the last over of the power play. How many more can these South Africa under 19s get? Down the leg side straight away. A very good presence of mind from Sifokule. If they can get anything close to that 42 runs right after the power play without losing any other wicket, then with the field spread, given of course the way they've been using the full face of the bat and the running between the wickets, that's when they can chip in those doubles and singles. And of course make sure you put away the bad ball. She has a long on and a deep extra cover, the 2 boundary riders for Esther. Shot on that occasion, half tracker. She misses out. Is Sifokule. She is living with herself. She gets away with one. Is Esther. Hit me ball that goes for a dot ball. Wise on offer again from Esther. She's not doing any justice to her partners. We always talk about bowling in partnerships.
Sifokule, 14 years, 168 days today. This is she's got a lot to do, a lot to play for.
Coming around the wicket. Swing and a miss again from Sifokule, the 14-year-old. A lot of youngsters, and I'm not sure what we are doing at the age of 14. But I know at the age of 15 and 233 days, Fani Utagushima Ninde broke a lot of records.
More and more wides. Esther not happy with herself. She's got to pick a position and walk with. The youths in this tournament we're going to see for the next 3 years. Fani, now Sifokule, Meka Van Vost, all of them. We're going to be watching them. These are the future of African cricket, women's cricket. It's good to see the consistency in the development of these countries. We hope the wicketkeeper is fine. Doctor running in. Play's been stopped now for the check. We hope she'll be fine. So wicket keeper is getting medical attention now.
Those are some of course, the 2 wickets. A brilliant catch. She had to cover a lot of ground from deep extra cover.
It's Jacqueline Coham who is down.
The second wicket, of course, trying to create room to play it on the onside, ending up exposing all her stumps. Those were the 2 wickets taken by the Ghanaians. 39 for 2, as we see the captain having some treatment there from the physios, of course, and the doctors. 5.2 overs have been bowled. Out there in the middle is Sifokule and the captain, Mika Van Vost, who is already into double digits, 10 off 8 deliveries. It is, of course, match day 2, game number 3. There will be another game later in the afternoon. Let's have a look at the batting chart so far. Chanel Fenter went for 8 off 8 with a strike rate of 100, and her partner Ashley Bernard went for 8 from 10 deliveries bowled by the left-arm orthodox. Tifokule Masilela and Mika Van Vost, the captain, are still out there in the middle trying to build a partnership to steady the ship for the South African under 19s. 10 extras have been bowled inside 5.2 overs, something they need to work on and see if they can cut off these extras. Yesterday they nearly bowled 6 overs in extras, is the Ghana side.
Good to see South Africa U19s trying to put together that partnership. And clearly, Sifokule Masilela and Mika Van Vos, the skipper herself, just matching out 10 from 8 and strike rate of 125. Hopefully we get through this. Keeper is back up. 10 extras. To join us in the comms box will be Peter. You saw him earlier at the toss. He's got plenty of data to work with. And meantime, we'll be joining Bob here in the comms box.
Captain Jacqueline Kokam, she is back on her feet. I beg your pardon, it looks like she is walking off the field. She might have hurt herself. She doesn't look very, very happy walking back at the dugout. As Ellen Otu Asante takes the gloves. The old hopper, the captain, is back on her feet. She has a big role to play with the bat, of course, in hand. And the leadership, of course, in the field. 39 for 2 after 5.2 overs. That's what the scoreboard reads at the moment. 4 more deliveries to come in the power play. They would love to capitalize on this. Is the South African under 19 get to that 45 or even more? Given, of course, the way Esther has been bowling, she's bowled 6 deliveries. Only 2 have been illegal. Given that she's been bowling it all over the wicket. A lot of extras in her final over of the power play. Still coming around the wicket to the right-hander. They decide to have a third man. A short third man, I beg your pardon. Deep extra cover and long on. Down the leg side again, same result, extras. Too many extras, make that 11 extras inside 5.2 overs. As I also welcome Peter, who was out there at the toss. He had a chat with the 2 captains. He will be telling us more. Welcome, Peter, and good morning.
Good morning to you too, Bob. It's been watching from the horizon. It's been a very, very fantastic play. You know, bowling the line, the batters have been very, very compact. Earlier during the toss, I was in the middle where, you know, as the results showed, South Africa won the toss. We had inquired from the captain, Jacques Lasser, who said that their intention today was to do nothing other than to bat. So we saw them doing the warm-up. They had padded up. They were very confident of winning the toss. It's quite rare to see Ghana lose tosses. Since Ghana have been present here, they've lost only 3 tosses in 2 tournaments. And today, on this tournament alone, they've lost 2 back-to-back tosses.
Comes over the wicket again is Esther. Shot on the occasion again. White's on offer. Too many extras in this particular over. Coming back to your point, do you think it's something you can control, Peter, you yourself? The tosses?
No, tosses, it's a 50-50, but when you win so many, you feel so confident going forward. And Ghana did not think that he could lose 2 tosses back to back.
You had the man, Peter. I would like to differ with you, Peter. Much better line there from Esther. Plays it again on the up is the captain, Mika van Vost. 2 more deliveries to come. 42 for 2. I'll give you, right after this game, I'll give you 10 chances and you flip that coin, and please make sure you let me know how many you're going to get out of the 10.
Well, but I'm not that good with coin tosses. I do not think that I might even get as many as 5. I'm not that lucky.
Lovely shot again there. Played it very, very late. Is Mika van Voster through the gap, of course, between backward point and short third man for yet another double. 44, edging closer to that 50. Last ball to come in the power play. It has been the longest of the overs so far. 9 deliveries bowled in this last over of the power play. Quicker on the occasion, cut away powerfully this time round. The 2 fielders convert for the chaser, but the chase will be in vain as she closes off the power play with a boundary. Is the captain leading from the front, Mika van Vost. 48 for 2 right after the power play.
Yeah, look at that ball. That short bounce has given Mika all the time she needed to look at the ball's trajectory and direct it into the open space on the field. Lovely boundary and a wonderful way to end the power play.
Setting a very good turn at these 2. Mika van Vost, who's already on 16 of 11, and her partner Sifokule 3 of 7. That's the bowling chart so far in the power play. Very expensive from Esther Bakiwema. 1 over has gone for 14 runs. And Erestina and Kate picking up a wicket apiece with a not a bad economy, you would say. 13 extras being bowled in the power play. Now that the field is spread, what are the options from these 2 youngsters at the crease? They have a backward point, deep extra cover, long off, and a deep square leg. Interestingly, balls one slightly outside off stump, cut away powerfully. A little bit of fumble, allowing these 2 to scamper for 2 runs. A very good running between the wickets. This is exactly what we've been talking about right after the power play. This is where they need to get in those doubles.
With the expanded field now and the quick feet of the South African batters, they will surely find those spaces, play into those gaps, and get chances of turning singles into doubles.
50 comes up, of course, with that double. Swing and a miss on the occasion. Quicker from Rebecca. .50 right inside the 6.2 overs. They need to capitalize on this partnership. Is Zifokule and Mika van Vost. She's looked to be very solid with the bat in hand. Is the captain, having lost the 2 experienced players up front. Whacks it on the onside into the vacant region. The chase will be in vain once again. She breaks the shackles, picking up her first boundary. She's been looking for that shot. And full angling into the pads, whacks it on the onside as she gets a well-matched deserved boundary. Is Sifokule.
Yeah, but youngsters have taken over this tournament. We saw the likes of Fanny yesterday and Sifokule today. Both very, very young players, and yet still playing like they've got so much experience before now.
Takes a little shimmy, uses the full face of the blade. Should be a double with ease. The running has been superb. Yes, they have blown a bit of lungs, but I love the understanding between the 2, Sifokule and the captain. You know, moving forward, every single run matters as she gets into double digits. Is Sifokule 11 with a very good strike rate of 100. Loud appeal. Miscommunication, but she catches the fielder snapping. Is the captain, Michael van Vost. They scamper for a quick run. 57 for 2 after 6.5. Last ball to come right after the power play. 9 runs coming off this over. Lovely shot down the ground from the captain. Make that 10 runs coming off the 7th over. It is the end of the 7th. 58 for 2. Moving at 8.3 runs. And over is South Africa under 19s. There will be another change in the bowling coming in from the Court of Appeal end. Rashidatu, one of the experienced players in this Ghanaian side. Balls one into the pads. A work sit on the onside is the captain, Mika. I love the rotation of strike between these two. They understand each other. She has a long off, long on, deep extra cover is Rashidatu. Full again on, oh, nearly. You would say that's a stamping that has gone down again.
It will be beautiful if you can see these two stay there and build up a 50-run partnership. Currently, they are on 35, 15 shy for these two youngsters.
Soft answer from Sifokule. Slow in the air from the experienced Rashidatu. Trying to, of course, entice her to take that little shimmy. But very well played watchfully by Sifokule, who is already on 12 or 14. Touch and go, nowhere to go, says the fielder at pointer. Very good comeback there from Rashidatu. Bring out, of course, all the experience she possesses. Slowing down, of course, the scoring rate. Trying to cover up the previous over of Rebecca that went for 10 runs. Half track on the occasion. Goes for the big pull shot. Doesn't get enough timing. But well enough to get them a single at these two. Tidy over here, Peter, you'd say, from Rashidatu.
Was really looking forward to seeing her bowl. She's been one of the team's most consistent player, playing in every single edition that Ghana has been able to be present here. She didn't really have a good game yesterday. It was necessary to see her come in today. That ball, that was a lovely shot.
Lovely shot, you say. I'm not sure. I didn't see any indication of a no ball. That looked like it was way above the waist high. We'll have to wait and see the decision from the umpire. But as for now, it is the boundary. She lives to die another day is Rashidatu as we come to the end of the 8th over. It's 64 for 2. Let's have a look at that again on the replay.
That ball was certainly full and it was deep in. And Nika pushed that ball, met that ball, aims and pulled that ball just towards the leg side to the open side of the field. There was nothing the deep mid-wicket fielder could do in terms of chasing. That was, if you ask me, I would say that was a free 4 runs for South Africa's under 19.
So if you ask me, Peter, I'll tell you that would have been a free hit coming right now. It is 64 for 2 after 8 overs. Still moving at 8 runs and over is South Africa under 19s. The captain is leading from the front, 22 or 14. Came in after losing the 2 wickets of her 2 experienced batters, but she is steadying the ship at the moment. Goes for a big slow sweeper. Doesn't get enough timing. Oof. Nearly takes a blind again. Is Miriam Ishum. She had to cover a lot of ground. You can see they are trying to play in the second gear is Sifakule and Mika van Vost.
Mika van Vost was part of the players that played for South Africa's under 19 at the last year's World Cup. Played under the leadership of Kayla, and she's had to take over because Kayla is above the age grade now. Kayla is turning 20 this year. And so she has had a little bit of exposure in terms of international and competitive play. Coming here, she's going to feel less pressure and more collectively calm. And that's what the team would need right here. They need that leadership and that experience, given how young the entire squad is.
Very well said again. 4 of the players in the South African under-19s are played under the leadership of Kylie Reineke, who's now making wonders on the Proteas women's national team. Of course, she's won them 2 games, as I mentioned earlier. Plays it on the onside as they scamper for yet another quick single. The running between the wickets has been superb from Mick and Sifakule. The partnership edging closer and closer to that 50. Full on the occasion. Very good awareness from Mickey van Vost. For the second time, they've got the fielders, the Ghanaian fielders napping as they scamper for a quick run.
Better bowling today from Ghana. There were a lot of short balls yesterday against Rwanda. Today the balls have been better length, our target, but it's still within the playing area of South Africa, and they are taking advantage of that. That flick towards the leg side and that chance for a 2-run. But we talked about this earlier. The expanded field was going to give South Africa's under 19 that chance to turn singles into doubles. Mika and Sifakuli are taking maximum advantage of that. Not even trying to go big, just making sure the ball is sticking twice as fast.
Lovely cut shot again from the captain. A lot of work to be done in the deep. They'll set off for the 2 runs. They've tried to put 4 boundary riders is the Ghanaians, but again, a very good run in between the wickets. They don't mind the doubles. Is the South Africa under-19s. 72 for 2 after 9. The partnership is now worth 48 of 34 deliveries. Is Mickey van Vost, the captain, and Sifakule, who is on 15 of 18, and her captain is on 27 of 18. Rashidatu will be bowling her second over from the Court of Appeal end. She has a long off, deep extra cover, deep mid wicket, and a wide-ish fine leg, interestingly, for the right arm off break. Into the pads again. Some loud appeal, animated appeal there, but the umpire stays still. I don't mind seeing Rashidatu trying to attack the stumps. It also brings in the LB in play. Try and force Sifakule and Mika van Vost to hit you down the ground where she has protection. There you go. I don't mind that shot. Took a little shimmy, got to the reach of the ball, and they'll pick up a single.
It's nice to see, like you said, it's nice to see Rashida coming and bowl. Yesterday I was quite surprised when she didn't bowl at all. Today the captain decided and the team decided it's time to bring up an old gun. And I would say she's doing quite well, just that the South African batters are playing excellently well. 50 runs partnership already for this duo. Sifakuli and Mika, 2 batters who've come in for the opening pairs and have made the wicket their home now. 50 runs already, very, very big, very beautiful partnership, I would say.
Cut away powerfully, but this time round, the fielder at point doesn't hold on that one. She's been given a live after that 50 partnership. Let's have a look again on the replay. Rashidatu felt she had her player there. Sifokule balled it away from her reach. Had enough baronita, but the fielder at point with butterfingers putting down Sifokule, who's been given a life, of course, on 15. Drives this one down too long off for yet another single. A little bit of fumble allows these two to pick up a double. Very sloppy right after the power play in the field from the Ghanaians. They did a tremendous job in the power play. Didn't give much runs, but this time round when the field is spread, they look to have relaxed, Peter.
Catches win matches, they say, Bob. When you spare a batter's life, you get punished for it. Remains to say Sifokule will, punish the fielder for dropping her. It was, I would say, a very comfortable catch. Probably the fielder wasn't in the best of face for that ball. When you look at that ball again, out of reach, and she went back, and that ball just within her reach. Could have probably just, there was no attempt for a lift. If there was a jump to assist and catching that ball, probably would have ended up in a catch.
77 for 2. As we get to the halfway stage of the first innings of match day 2, game number 3, it is drinks break.
Game can resume. The innings break, the drinks break is over. And it's still just 2 wickets lost already. 7 on the board, just 2 wickets lost. Mika Van Voorst and Sifokule are the 2 batters still batting for South Africa. Both batters had to come in quite early, so they will fall a wicket in the first 3 overs of the power play. Ghana looks to have taken control at some point, but these two seem to have drawn power back. Missed stop there by the wicket keeper. And that ball races all the way to the boundary for a 4. Not the usual wide 4 we saw like yesterday, but bye is the signal by the umpire. Missed by the wicket keeper. And that is 4 free runs that South Africa will appreciate. Andy, welcome to the comms box.
Thank you, Peter. Halfway through this innings, and it's 81 for 2. Sifokule and Maker Van Voist, the captain. Another wide. Ghana doing themselves again with the extras. They have to try as much as possible to make sure that they reduce the amount of wides they're bowling. Today in South Africa in a very decent position presently. Projected score sitting at 159. So another one. Has to be some conversations with the coach there.
Yesterday we saw 28 extras from this Ghanaian side, and today they're already into 20, and we're just still a little, just one ball already into the second half of this inning. Yesterday we acknowledged their batting, given the fact that they played not all out. They played out all 20 overs against an informed Rwandan side. Still a lot of work to be done in their bowling in that case.
Just by scramble there between Maker and Sifokule. 84 runs on the board. 2 wickets gone. 10.2 overs. It's a bowler. Bowling around the wicket this time. Brilliant dab. Finding that gap. Fielders walk out there, but it is a boundary. A much needed one for his keeper. Is leading the pack here for South African U19s. His ability to play some aggressive cricket, but quiet and quietly building. On your screen again, short and wide, and just standing and cutting that one away.
Picking up the form where she left off from the Women's League back home in South Africa, where she had an excellent performance in 3 games in a row, playing 51 in one game, 65 the following, not out, and in the final game against the Limpopo women, 21 before the season ended, where the season, the Western Province women won, and now she's here with that form in the first game of this tournament for South Africa, the second game, by the way, for Ghana. And Mickey Van Vost and Sifokuli are taking charge to the maximum. Already they built up a 50-run partnership, but they're still going further. Goes big, yeah, she does. Just outside of the 30-yard, but the fielder in the deep prevented any boundary. A run will do it for Sifokuli as Mika comes on strike. Grace from 4 extras in a row has kept that ball on the wicket line, forcing Mika to play off the bat. One more run off that last ball, and we come to the end of the 11th over. It's 91 on the board for 2 wickets.
That partnership there between the two, 67 of 46 deliveries, is Sifokile Masilela, who's contributed 15 from 22, and the skipper herself, Maker Van Voss, 36 of 24. Earlier openers, Channel Fenta and Ashley Bennett, 12 of 14 deliveries. Couldn't really get going, and the partnership only produced 12 runs from it. It's Esther Sina again. This time, Maker goes no is the call. Esther Sina from the Court of Appeal end of the TBS cricket over.
A front foot drive to the fielder in the deep. That was one more run. Sifokule, the batter on strike. Lesina yesterday was one of the 3 bowlers to pick up a wicket for Ghana yesterday. Today she's one of 2, Kate with 1, and she has 1 as well. Not too many wickets taken by the Ghanaian bowlers, and too many runs have been given out from extras. But you have to acknowledge the batting prowesses of the South African batter. Lofted shot there. Sifokule hasn't really found that boundary, that big maximum she's been looking for. Rabo just narrowly going outside of the 30-yard circle into the empty space. The back foot, she plays it, and she plays it to the deep covers. Mika goes off strike. It's been beautiful combination of these two rotating strikes, rotating shots, selecting their balls. Doesn't beat the fielder, and we end the 12th over with a dot. 94 is the runs on the board for 2.
The partnership has moved to 70 of 52 deliveries. Seems to be decent communication between these two. Sifokule and Maker just pushing things through. The skipper herself building these blocks and building blocks to ensuring a defendable decent total. They would be trying to score as much as they can here and hopefully bowl them out quickly to be in a good position for the net run rates. A brilliant face of the bat presented. No hurry, the skipper. Very patient. Playing within our strengths. Kate Awa taking one, considered 13. Oh, this is brilliant cricket. Very, very brilliant cricket here from the skipper. He just gliding that onto the leg side without much risks, full face, and ensuring they could get a single. Strike rotation is a strategy in this format.
Both batters are booming with confidence. You can see off that previous ball, the last ball that Mika faced, she had anticipated. She was ready for whatever ball was coming at. She had made a move. She had advanced towards closing the gap between the bowler and she. Lovely flick to the leg side. 1 run. And Sifokule, the batter there, has been so very confident and is finding our rhythm. Advanced she does as well. Narrowly missing the top of the stumps. Mika being a role model there on that batting crease as Sifokule is imitating and mimicking our style of play.
This is an amazing approach by the South Africans. No hurry. Foot movement, footwork, just in time and playing the balls as close to the body as possible. This time she drags it onto the leg side. Another single, ensuring the scoreboard is taken away.
She's been trying to go big all day. It's lucky this time around as that ball was straight up in the air. But it was into the open field. The chasing fielder couldn't get to the ball in time. A survive scare for Sifokule. Tried to advance edge of the bat into the air. Rebecca Dotie, the fielder, will give the chase, but wasn't quick enough to make that floating ball. 1 run Dale will be thankful for to end the 13th over. Looking at the batting chart, Ashley and Channel both on 8 runs, couldn't get into double figures. Sifokule already on 20 of 31, and Mickey Van Voos 39 of 29 balls. Both batters still in the batting crease, and both batters still causing a lot of trouble for the Ghana bowling side. A full length ball to Sifokule wasn't dealt with. I know it. This time comes out to meet the ball successfully and get a run out chance that wasn't taken. No, couldn't keep that ball in arm. There was that catch again that Rebecca Dotie couldn't get to in time. Decided to bring in spin as the pace hasn't been able to break this partnership, and the spin also suffers the same fate from Mika, the captain herself, to the boundary. She is sent just 3 balls in.
This was a half tracker clearly, but Mika didn't make a mistake around that one, and into our 40s of 30 deliveries, and showing clear dominance here. And this is how the partnership should be from the beginning. Current run rate seated at 7.4. That partnership of 77 of 61 deliveries. Flighted this time, drives that one. This will go through backward of point. Fielder comes into play, just ensuring 2 will be enough. As brilliant run in between the wickets. 45 now of 31 deliveries for the skipper. This is looking like full control. Brilliant shot this time down the wicket. More and more runs, yeah. More and more runs. She moves on to 49. Look at that again. Short pitch. But hit it in the V nicely. No fielder. Not giving anyone the room to cut that off. A skipper on 49 of 32 deliveries. It's been runs here against Ghana. Will she get it in this 14th over? How quick can we see that? Anore will have to try deny her, but clearly she gets it, and that's the 50. Stabs it through cover region. Fantastic innings here by the captain, leading from the front the runs. Excitement from the dugout. It is Maker, Van Vick, who has gotten a 50 of 33 balls. And so far, with 6 overs left, there is more to play for. What a way to start the tournament for this keeper, who won the toss and decided to bat, showing how it should be done, showing calmness today. And this is really good. Filled with experience. Hopefully she can carry through the next 36 balls with the support from Shifokile. And we might just see another 100, and that's how beautiful this can become.
The youngsters are taking over this tournament. We saw 15-year-old Fanny score 111. Peace Hussein picking up 3 wickets. And now Mika Van Vost, the captain of the South Africa under-19 side, already on 50 runs. That tells you just how rapidly youngsters are developing into the game. There was that ball into the gap towards the deep covers. Help time to that figures. Is do we get now maximum? No, we don't. Is this a catch? Yes, it is. 50 runs. She is celebrated. And we walk back without adding any more runs to it. And beautifully, the 4 runs partnership is ended abruptly. And the wicket to welcome Bob into the comms box.
50 and out from the captain, Mika Van Voster. Losing her shape and focus. Took a little shame, he didn't get to the reach of the ball. Trying to heave it over long on. But what a take there from the fielder. Again, the catching has been superb for the Ghanaians. As they pick up their 3rd wicket, it is the big fisher who walks back to the dugout. She came, she saw, she conquered, but she lost focus right after she got to that half century. That was a moment earlier when she got to that half century, the 2nd in the tournament. The captain, of course, but she lost focus right after getting to the 50. 108 for 3 after 14.1. She looks solid again. Is Sifokule for her 21 over 33. She is still out there in the middle. You can see the plan and task ahead for her is very clear. All the batters coming in are batting around her. She is anchoring the innings for the South Africa under-19s. As we see the new batter in, Rotabil Ntoba, who joins Sifokule, who is still out there unbeaten over 21 of 33. Still moving at 7.6 runs and over is South Africa under-19s. Picking up her 2nd wicket, of course, is the experienced Kate Aua. She's gone for only 15. Always leading from the front. Not an easy task, of course, given that she is playing with a lot of youngsters, upcoming youngsters, down the leg side on the occasion, and white signal by the umpire. A mixed team here from Team Ghana. Couple of experienced players and youngsters in the making. She has a long off, long on, and deep extra cover and deep mid wicket for the new batter in.
Two wicket keeper batters right now in the batting crease for South Africa. Sifokuli and Rotabili Ntoba. Both very young players, 14 years Sifokuli, 15 Rotabili. And they look to pose a threat to this very experienced Ghanaian women's side.
Very good exposure, of course, for the likes of the South African under-19s and Zimbabwe under-19s. Different conditions, you'd say. Shuffles across on the occasion, tries to pick up the big gap between long on and deep mid-wicket. They all settle for 2 runs. Smartly done by Sifokule Masilela. Very good exposure, different conditions, as I just said. The ball here doesn't move that much compared to, of course, the conditions in South Africa. I love the fact that they are adjusting. First game on the Nigerian soil, they are sitting on 112 for the loss of 3. Shuffles across again. Will drop shot at the fielder in the deep and long on. She keeps the scoreboard ticking, taking her time. Started off very, very slow, but this time around she is catching up with that strike rate. She lost, of course, a captain in the process, but she's really held forth for her side. Isifakulo Masilela. Outside off, edged. Drop shot at the fielder, at shot third man. getting that late movement is the experienced Kate Aua. Deceiving, of course, the new batter in Ratibele by that late cutter.
She's been very good for Ghana with the ball and the bat. Just hasn't been gotten that team victory to consolidate that effort that she's been putting into the team's overall gameplay.
And with that single, we come to the end of the 15th. It's 115 for the loss of 3 wickets. South Africa under 19s. Let's have a look again on the wicket of the captain. Took a little shimmy, didn't get to the reach of the ball. Slices his bat, her bat, I beg your pardon, but what a take again from the fielder, Rashidatu. Getting, of course, to the back end of the first innings with 5 overs to go with 7 wickets in hand. What do you make of the total? They would feel they will be very comfortable in South Africa, the under 19s.
South Africa pose as a competitive side. We've not really seen Ghana perform too well against competitive side, and they right now they're not on the good side of record, allowing my corrections because Rwanda fought hard for that victory. So I would say they're not on the good, like I was saying, they're not on the good side of records. Rwanda currently 210 against them, and that's the highest any team has scored in this National Women's Invitational in any of the editions. And Ghana on the receiving end of that. Ghana saw a 15-year-old score 111 against them. So they really have a lot to fix, especially playing against a team that is entirely made up of young players.
But again, Peter, they will take home a lot of positives. Is Team Ghana, having not played international cricket for nearly 3 years. Arena 17 for 3 after 15.2 overs. Still moving at 7.6 runs and over. Takes a little shim again. This time round, nobody moves, says Sifokule, taking matters into her own hands as she crosses 30. Every good player square the wicket.
Advancement, that ball before that any turn could actualize. She's been looking to go big for a long time. Isn't the maximum, the boundary she wants? She's been looking for a maximum for a very long time now. But boundary is a boundary. That's 4 more runs off just 1 ball for Sifokule. 31 already, been mimicking the play style of Mika, and she's looking to get herself into that 50-run mark, being the second person today to get to the 50.
Takes a little shimmy again, ends up yoking herself. A little bit of fumble again, many fumbles from the Ghanaians, allowing these two to pick up once again a double. She's blown a bit of lungs, is Sifokule Masilela. She's been running. But again, I love the understanding between all the batters are coming in. Every time she calls for a double, they oblige. Goes cheeky. Not effective.
She spends so much time in the batting crease. She's booming with confidence. When you stay very, very long, you understand the field, you understand the bowlers. What is left is just your rhythm. And she's found that as well. And it's starting to click for her. Didn't go in the direction she wanted. Does it whiz all the way to the boundary? No, it doesn't. Good stop by the fielder in the deep. Rashidatu. A wonderful catch to dismiss the captain Mika previously, and now lovely stop at the boundary, and makes the game even more difficult for Sifokule. Good stop, and play will go on. Wonderful end to the 16th over. It's 126 on the board, just 3 wickets lost.
A very good running between the wickets from Sifokule and Rotabile, picking up 3 runs on that last delivery. Didn't get to the reach of the ball, of course, at that top edge. But what an effort from Rashidatu once again. 126 for 3 after 16. I would love to see her converting that 36 into the big one. She's had a taste, of course, of every bowler from the Ghanaian side. With, of course, 7 wickets in hand, they would love to bat in the second gear, especially Sifokule and Rotabile. Rebecca is back into the bowling attack. Plays it very, very late, square driven. Very good effort there at covers, denying them the chance of picking up a double. This is where to go for Rotabile. She needs to make sure she gets off the striker and allow Sifokule to take more charge, who's been out there in the middle for quite some time. Had a very good 50 partnership with the captain. Square driven again from Sifokule, looking for a double. Should be easy too. These two are very, very electric between the wickets.
Rebecca didn't really have a very good game yesterday, bowling 3 overs and giving out 45 runs. Today she's bowled a little bit better. Already this is her 4th over. She didn't get that chance yesterday. She's getting that chance today. It's giving out just 28 runs in total in 3 overs. That is an improvement on our bowling from yesterday. Yesterday we complimented the fielding. Today the fielding is slacked off a little bit compared to yesterday. I think yesterday the momentum dropped when Fanny was everywhere, hitting the balls everywhere and finding the boundaries at every point in time at will. Today the boundary hasn't really been there that much, but due to the lack of fall of wickets, there seems to be a drop in enthusiasm on the fielding. Up in the air, Sifokule isn't lucky this time. On 5 different occasions, she's gone sky high. This time she walks out. A lovely catch in the 30-yard circle.
Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Rebecca getting the much deserved wicket. Took a little shimmy, but this time round I could only hold out with the fielder at covers. I beg your pardon, at short mid wicket, Kate Aua, who takes a very, very good catch again. Another set batter has to depart, but this time round she doesn't convert that 37 into a half century, but you'd feel she's done her team a very good, tremendous job. 130 for 4 after 16.4. The wicket again. Leg cutter on the occasion, no pace to work with. Straight into the back hands at short mid wicket. Very casually taken by Kate Awa, the most experienced player in the Ghanaian side, as they picked up their 4th wicket. Going to be an interesting passage of play here for the Ghanaians and South Africa under-19s. Nearly 2 new batters at the crease, when of course the team needs to accelerate and see if they can get to that 160. Takes a little shimmy, but there's protection. They take on the fielder at mid-on as she gets off the mark. This is very smart from the captain. Bring in 5 fielders inside the ring, not allowing these two to get comfortable with the singles. Making sure they earn every single run in the air this time round. Will drop short at the fielder at mid-on. A very fantastic over as she picked up a wicket is Rebecca. It's the end of the 17th.
Sifokule trying to go big off the top edge of the bat and just into the arms of Kate. Kate has been very excellent with the ball, with the bat, and she's shown that in her fielding position.
Jaili Filanda joins, of course, Rotabile, another player who featured for the previous Under-19 World Cup. There you see the batting chart. Nothing much from the two up front. But that 50 partnership that was broken, courtesy of Kate Awa over the captain, Mika Van Vost and Sifokulo Masilila. 50 off 34 from the captain, leading from the front, and 37, the last wicket to fall. Of 44 deliveries with 2 boundaries. It's the left-arm orthodox who's been brought back into the attack from the Court of Appeal end. A little bit of fumble in the deep, allowing these two to scamper for 2 runs. The calling has been superb from the South Africa under-19s. I love the fact that they've been putting pressure on the fielders. One of the reasons, of course, we've seen a lot of fumbles. Shot on that occasion, straight back to the bowler's head. But this time round, the new batter in. Jay Life says, hold your horse. Again, coming back to your point, Peter, earlier on, you said Rebecca, yesterday she didn't have a chance to bowl. We didn't see the likes of the experienced Miriam Eshum. Yesterday, she bowled very, very well. She's been a very good bowler for the Ghanaian side for the last couple of years. Love to see them, of course, trying out different options. You never know.
As to Bakim, she didn't play yesterday. She's making her debut for the national team today, and she's bowled only 1 over so far. 14 runs she gave out. There's going to be, I'm certain, probably a bit more frequent rotation in the squad to make sure that everybody has the chance to test themselves and contribute.
Very innovative there from Philanda, creating room, accessing the onside into the vacant fine leg region as they pick up yet another boundary. Shuffled across way early, anticipated shorter, and she gets the treatment she deserved. Is Ernestina. Much well-deserved boundary here for the South Africa under-19s as they edge closer to that 150. 17.5 overs. 9 runs so far coming off the first 5 deliveries of Ernestina. Full on that occasion, walked seat on the onside. Should be an easy single. A little bit of fumble again in the deep, allowing these two to scamper for 2 runs. Very, very sloppy, you would say. As we come to the end of the 18th, 11 runs coming off that 17th over. As we come into the penultimate over, it's 144 for the loss of 4. Rashidat will be bowling the penultimate over. Shot number 21. She's bowled some good lines coming in when these 2 batters are trying to clear the boundary ropes and get as many runs as possible. She has a deep square leg, deep mid-wicket. I beg your pardon, deep mid-wicket and a long off, deep extra cover. 3 boundary riders. Shot, half tracker, punished. No chance whatsoever for the fielder who can only collect the ball over the boundary ropes. What a way to start off the penultimate over, putting Rashidatu under the pump straight away.
Ball coming in there, that ball was put on the leg side and was given the appropriate treatment by Ritabili. There was no stopping that ball. As that ball was into that gap, he was in the region of the infield square leg. Who couldn't stop that ball? And as such, there was no chance for the deep mid wicket to even have any means of preventing a boundary. Good boundary, but better length will be required from Rashidatu. Dimbo yesterday had 2 very fantastic over where she gave out just 11 runs And now this is our third over, and she's giving out 5 runs off just one ball, one legal delivery, because the second ball she's bowled afterwards will signal the wide by the umpire.
Lovely shot down the ground, sloppy from the bowler herself. But again, they have only 3 fielders to work with. Is Team Ghana, having been penalized for the slow over rate. Gonna bowl to your field. She has a long off and a deep extra cover. White signal by the umpire again. Can be bowling there, Peter, when you have a deep extra cover, and given that the only fielder on the onside is at deep square leg. Stamping, chance goes baking again. That was a much better line and length there from Rashidatu.
They've been going to the leg side too frequently. Jay Lee expected a ball on the leg side, which just missed the wickets narrowly. The wicket keeper did not do too well in combating that ball. Another lifeline. Too many lifelines being awarded to the South African under 19 batters. We saw Mika getting dropped. We saw JV, as my corrections there, we saw Sufukuli also getting dropped. And now getting punished by JV, who couldn't get stumped earlier by the wicket keeper. She failed to stump Jay Lee, and Jay Lee has made corrections from that previous narrow loss.
Snooze, they lose. Shuffled across again. Picking up yet another much deserved boundary. 150 comes up for South Africa under 19s. They won the toss. They decided to have a bat faster. They've made sure they're putting on a very competitive total in their very first game on Nigerian soil. Taking a liking, of course, of Rashidatu's half trackers. The last ball to come. Can she finish stronger? Takes a little shimmy again, ends up yoking herself, but they will pick up single any day, any time at the South African under 19s. As we come to the end of the penultimate over, it is 156 for the loss of 4. Moving at 8.2 as we come into the last 6 deliveries of the first innings of match day 2, game number 3. That's the partnership that was broken. 84 over 65 deliveries between Sifokule Masilela and the captain Mika Van Voster, and the 22 partnership from Utabile Toba and Sifokule Masilela. Very good player she has been. The anchor role is something they need to work on moving forward. Always have a player who can anchor the innings, and she did a tremendous job despite, of course, not converting that 37 into the 50. But she made sure all the batters that came in had a solid base and platform. 156 for 4. 6 deliveries to come, 6 legal deliveries to come. How many more is the question? Is the South African under 19 is going to add on that 156?
The bowler getting entrusted with that responsibility of the last over is Miriam Eshun. A reverse sweep, just hitting, making contact with the back end of the bat. They will settle for 1 run. As the final over, a lot of wicket at hand and a chance to go and attack every ball. Grace doing a very fantastic job in making sure that the runs stay as minimal as possible 3 runs off 2 balls, 4 more balls to end the first inning. With a Billy on strike. Leg side ball goes. Didn't make contact with the bat. Wasn't punished. Attitude. They will settle for 1. And Jay Lee already off to different starts coming in the 17th over. It's already into double figures. No slowing down. A lot of leg side balls this time. The signal is a wide. Way out of the batter's reach. Jay Lee has been Bob, if you've noticed, the South Africa under 19 batters have been playing a lot of advanced shot lately. I want to attribute that to the slow bowling of the Ghanaian side. They've had to come out very frequently and attack the balls. And each time Ghana tried to bowl fast, it's either the batters didn't score a run off it or the ball had raced all the way to the boundary. Another by 4 signaled by the umpire. Evie was very fantastic behind the stumps yesterday. Today she's let 2 balls go past her and raised all the way 4 fours. 2 by 4s already. Yesterday we saw 3 by 4s. Wide 4s rather. Today it's 2 by 4s. It's the 3 runs already with the big runs on the board. Ghana have a lot to do.
Good point there you raised, Peter. But again, when you look at the way she's been keeping, she's not the first keeper of the side. We saw earlier the captain injuring herself. One of the reasons she's putting on the gloves is shot number 7, Ellen Otu Asante. She's not had the best days in the office behind the stumps. Giving away, of course, a couple of runs. But again, it is a learning process for the Ghanaians. Takes a little shimmy, listen to the sound, but there's protection in the deeper. They'll look to scamper for the second one. They pick up a double with ease. And these two, as we come to the end of the first innings of match day 2, game number 3, South Africa under 19s find themselves on 168 for the loss of 4 wickets. Right after they are allotted 20 overs, having won the toss and decided to have a bat first.
And Bob, this is the 3rd highest runs in West African tournament. Look at the batting chart there. Chennai Finder and Ashley Bernard both were able to register 8 runs each. So Kule 37 or 44. Mickey Van Oos 50 with Abuli and Jelly Finder, both batters finishing the inning on 17 runs each. 31 extras were awarded to this batting side. Look at the bowling chart there. Kedahua, the only bowler to pick up 2 wickets with an economy of 5-5. And Esther, 1 wicket also, as well as Rebecca Adotia. Esther, Rashidat, Grace, and Ano couldn't pick up a wicket, as only Esther and Ano were the only 2 bowlers to go above 10 in economy. Beautiful batting. South Africa already their first time in the tournament, and they've already posted the 3rd highest runs total in an inning by any side in this Nigeria Women's Invitational T20. Yesterday, Rwanda put up beat the previous record set by Tanzania. Rwanda had the new highest run total on the board with 210. Tanzania second with 174, and up until today, Rwanda still had the 3rd highest with 158. South Africa have displaced that total
first 50 of 34, Sifu Kule. Masilela 37 of 44. And the last Larry Richard Bilek Oba 17 of 12. The wicket takers were Kate Awa 2 for 22 of 4. Esina Sego 1 for 26 of 4. And Rebecca Adotie 1 for 32 of allotted 4 overs. To win, it's 169 from allotted 20 overs. It is then time for Ghana to do the chess. Yesterday was 80 odd from 20 overs. Hopefully they make something out of this game. Peter, good afternoon and welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Andy. This has been a very beautiful game of a very beautiful first inning by South Africa with the bat. I remains to see just how effective the bowling are. We're familiar with some faces here, and there are some faces about a lot of faces are making their debut for the female team, female under 19 side for the first time against a very much more very much more experienced Ghana side for the national team cricket. A lot of youngsters today. It's youngster versus experience. Yesterday, the young attributes of Fanny dominated the experience of this Ghanaian side, and this team is entirely made of youngsters, and remains to see which one comes out on top.
A big stage for these youngsters. Plenty, some starting their careers now. Some have been in the fray. The future holds a lot for the countries in this tournament, and we will be watching them later on in the year when they do battle again in Tanzania. But South African under 19 will not be there at that stage. Nigeria, Rwanda, Zimbabwe all will be gunning for places at the next under 19 World Cup. But South Africa is starting their road work here. It is that player, Jesse number 4, will be opening the bowling from the pavilion end of this TBS Oval. It is J. Late Philander. Interesting field placement here. All in the rainbow, third man and fine leg. This looks an attacking field. There we go. A brilliant start of the mark for Ghana. This side's on the one clearly. A bat on ball from Bowen. Good question there by Philander.
Jaylee Philander was part of the South African women's CSA Women's T20 West Province team that won the league just a few weeks, just a couple of days before they made the trip to Nigeria. League concluded on the 15th. Jaylee lifted a trophy and is here to lift another one.
Big shout, umpire Kendi Olabinwonu not interested very clearly. That one drifting down the leg side.
Look at that replay, that ball coming very, very full, and obviously it was drifting far too off. Good call by the umpire, good sighting as well.
She's got a rhythmic run up here. Like to see some live in that run up. They have two jerseys number 4. Mia Lalo. Number 4. Jaylee is very good. Yeah, but they have two on the team sheet. They have two jerseys number 4. Jaylee is very good. This is Mia. This is Mia. Mia. Mia also won the same thing with Jaylee. But why are they wearing both jerseys number 4? Let me just check this.
A good display, lovely display of the bat ball was staying low, and I know it was met the ball lower.
Quite a mix up in the team sheets here. Mia, Lalo, really attacking the Storms. That's good intent here as an opening bowler. You want to keep the questions around the wicket. Yeah, she goes, plays across the line, but this time straight to the fielder, mid-on. No run from that, and clearly that brings us to the end of the first over. It is 3 for no loss.
Roseanne, the new bowler coming from the corner of appeal end. Rashidatu wasn't fine from yesterday before being run out. Today we look to better
raw pace. Some bounce on this one. In the replay again, decent line, and that hard length. What a beauty. What a beauty. Bruzan. And just testing the fits there. Oh, beauty. Plenty of movement there. Brilliant, brilliant one. Anore was clueless about that one. On the replay, this one shaped in nicely and leaving the bat. Look at that. In the air. And off that one, umpire Rajesh believes yes, there's something on that one, and the batter would depart for 2 after 7 deliveries. Anore disappointed in herself, but she will make her journey back to the pavilion.
Very good pick there from the wicketkeeper. Met that edge, that nick, held on to it very, very tightly. If you look at that replay again, Andy, that ball was swing off the first bounce straight into the glove of the wicketkeeper. The batter anticipated the ball coming for the Storms, wanted to go big, and just wasn't in the right place with the bat, and that is the punishment for it. Ghana had their own fun in the first power play innings, taking out 2 quick wickets of the South African side. And they have been fed the taste of that medicine. 1 wicket already for a team that seemed to have not been in control for most part of the innings. A lot of swing behind the balls. Hitting hard on the deck, narrowly missing out on the wicket. Kid Abua coming 1 down again, same as yesterday. I had to come in very early in the match against Rwanda yesterday. Stayed up until the 18th over. Couldn't help our team chase a staggering 210. Back end of the bat towards the third man, Zia Monahanlo, the fielder in the deep. Returns the ball to the wicket keeper. They will settle for 1 run. Rashida to Kit didn't have a chance to build up a partnership yesterday. Rashida was the batter in form before going out for Kit. This time around, they are the pairing duo. Just outside of the wide marking, and the wide is the signal by the umpire. It's not really outside of that mark, and Rashid had calculated well and to let that ball end in the gloves of the wicket keeper.
It's safe to say the umpire owns the lines and wants them inside. She goes hard this time around. A bit of aggression from her. Interesting to see how she's trying to bend that back on this wicket. Yeah, really thinking cricket here. Bruzan Goshen.
A wicket being taken by Bruzan, but what cost 3 extras already off the back foot. Rashidat, calm and composed batter, was run out yesterday to point out in details what happened with Anor. Today, she's playing with another calm and composed batter, Kate Awua. Sends Kate Awua on strike for the last ball of Bruzan's first over. Outside of the wide marking again, and wide is the call for extras for Bruzan Gruza, 5 in total. With the first one in the previous over, the opening over by Mia Lalo, and 4 in this over already. Inexperience and you taking over.
This time around, Beauty just floating it through that line. It's Bruzan who finishes the second over, and it's 10 for the loss of 1 wicket. 159 runs required from 108 deliveries, and current run rate is sitting at 5. Required is 8.8.
Mia Lalo will come from my favorite in the pavilion and hasn't picked up a wicket, and we look to continue from where a teammate left off. And the first point of action is a ride. 6 early extras that the Ghana women will appreciate. South Africa under 19, very good on the bat. So far have struggled with consistency. The bowling line. A huge run for Ghana to chase, and they welcome every form of freebies that they get. Back-to-back wide it is for Mia Taylor. 1 in the previous over, already double that in this over. 168 was the run scored, 169 needed. 7 extras so far to aid South Africa, to aid Ghana's chase. For defensive for that very fast Joker ball. Found a length finally, I would say, after 2 consecutive bad balls for Miatilo. First dot in Rashidat. Respected. 5 balls, 5 runs off the bat, 12 in total. 157 is what is needed by Ghana of 107 balls. not really a high run scoring side. Ghana women, as the highest they've put on the board has been the 148, coming up against Gambia in the second edition of the Nigeria International Women's T20I. Haven't been able to better that, and they will look to use experience as an aid in chasing these very high runs by this under 19 side. And edge, beautiful stop by the fielder on first sleep. That would have been a chance for a run. Kirawa, the batter, now there and is really struggling. Every dot ball mounts pressure on the batters. We've seen Kirawa yesterday, very calm and composed. Wasn't really in a rush. The moment she tried to rush, she lost the wicket in that drive. Back to the fielder, back to the bowler, my corrections. An edge of the back of the bat, and this time it goes beyond the reach of the wicket keeper for a run as the fielder on third man comes to the rescue. Kate takes herself off to strike, sends Rashidat for the last ball of the third over. 14 runs so far. The strike rate haven't really been up to par. Four defensive shots has been employed far too often. Rashidat has been held in a chokehold by the bowling efficiency of the South African under 19 ladies side. 14 runs after 3 overs for the loss of 1.
This time she finds the gap that goes all the way. That's a brilliant shot. Just a bit of room there, and it's good to see Kate Awoa. Now get a boundary. 6 of 7 deliveries and 18 for 1. This is good projection for Ghana, even though the road seems far. But again, this is cricket. It's good to see them coming out of their flesh and playing shots here. Bruzan Goshen. I'll have to think about this one again. She goes short again in the air, and that one moves through backward of points, and will it go all the way? Brilliant chase, good teamwork there, and just 2 runs taken from that one. And this is good to see how the Ghanaians are approaching this one, taking the opportunities on offer. Brilliant piece of fielding there. Oh, brilliant line. Slightly short. Playing too early onto that one, Keitawa.
Huge bounce behind that ball. Bruzan has been very consistent in hitting the ball hard on the deck. And the batters have had to react lately. Kate Awuah hasn't really been very, very consistent in terms of reacting early to the ball, always waiting onto the last minute. She's been very successful in doing that, kept her wicket for a long time against Rwanda, and she looks to continue that. A short ball, bounce high, and within a reach, hits very hard, essentially to the boundary. Another boundary for Ghana as they look to chase this run all the way down.
That's a replay again from Brusen, short pitch delivery, and Kate Awuah will rock back and pulls that one through the mid-wicket region. She gets the much-needed boundary, and it's good to see the expression here from the Ghanaians. And clearly, there's room for improvement for this team, and hopefully, the Ghana Cricket Association sees some positivity in this tournament and give them more international opportunities to play against their age mates from other parts of the continent. But here is Bruzen, who comes around the wicket this time from the Court of Appeal end. It's a push straight to the fielder. No runs from that one brings us to the end of the fourth over. Our score is 23 for the loss of 1 wicket. Run rate sitting at 5.7 per over, requiring 9. South Africa gradually squeezing this one onto the Ghanaians. Big thank you to our sponsors, Providence Bank, Russo Advisory, and Dafabet, ensuring we could stream and show this tournament to our viewers across the continent and the world. Yeah, this tournament has become a household tournament in Nigeria. Nigerian Women International Invitationals. This time having countries from Southern Africa and Zimbabwe and South Africa and East Africa, Rwanda, fellow West African brothers and sisters, Ghana, and in Nigeria.
Canelio, the new batter in, the new bowler, my corrections, and off to a good start with a dot ball of the first delivery. Good length that wasn't properly dealt with by Rashida too. It's really struggled, but has left the major ratings to Kate Awuah. A new bowler and a wide ball. So Ghana will welcome every freebie that they get. They've been very, very calm and composed. Kate Awuah showing a lot of composure, not attacking balls unnecessarily. She was giving Ted a short ball which she sent to the boundary in the previous over. This time to the wicket, an edge. Late reaction from the wicket keeper, and thankful for the fielder at third man, we made sure that ball did not get to the boundary.
Again, that room there, just a touch. She's gone with the swing and really thick contact there. The wicket keeper, Jela Filanda. Jersey number 3. Mokwena. Oh, brilliant line. Kate Awuah just getting better by the day. It shows clearly the intent. She's playing through the wicket. 144 runs from 94 deliveries. Seems a tall order for the experienced Ghanaian side have. No footwork whatsoever on that one. Brilliant line. Cananello just operating around the off and first stump line, just asking a lot of questions requiring answers, and Kate Awuah within those limitations Hopefully she can continue to hang in. Oh, brilliant. This time straight to the fielder and covers. No run on that one. And that brings us to the end of the 5th over. It is 25. One ball left to be bowled. A wide one this time. Too wide. Yeah, young cricketers need to stay focused more.
The batter haven't really been thinking, but the runs are coming from somewhere, and every medium is welcome by the South African side. South Africa, Ghana gave out 31 extras in the first inning. So far, it's been 9 after 5 overs by the South African under 19.
Required is 143 from 90 balls. The South African side looking tight and tighten with a decent line and length. We talked about the games to watch out for. South Africa under 19, Zimbabwe under 19, and South Africa under 19 Nigerian team. Fixtures and more fixtures. Interesting times to come through this tournament. Rwanda on paper looking favorites with Nigeria, but hopefully we'll be giving a run for the money when it comes to South African U19s and Zimbabwe. Yesterday taking that one away from Zimbabwe. Jesse number 2, bowling change. Ashley Van Wyk from the Court of Appeal end. Brilliant stats. Big swing and misses out on that one. No easy call. Run opportunities. Kate Awa would have been in all sorts of trouble and she wanted it. Rashida too wasn't watching.
In the first inning, we saw 3 players who represented South Africa at the last season, the 19 World Cup. We saw 3 of them bat, the likes of Mika Van Voos, J. Lee Philanda, and Chanel Venter. In this inning, the remaining one player that is still part of that squad, Ashley Van Wyk, as he is finally bowling, and that they've mixed experience in youth together, and they're looking to dominate at this point. The run rates are actually quite the required run, and the run scored actually has a huge gap in it, and as the overs keep on going higher, the runs needed keep increasing for Ghana. Good stop behind the wicket keeper. J. Philanda, the wicket keeper, has been very, very effective. Came in and the penalty made over and got herself into double figures quite quickly. 17 runs to finish off the first inning, and she's entrusted with the role of making sure that balls do not accidentally beat her to the boundary, and also took a wonderful edge very early in the game, the edge of Anor. 26 for the loss of 1 as we come to the end of the power play overs.
$26 for 1 right after the power play. You would feel the South African under 19s are 22 runs ahead. They were sitting on 48 for the loss of 2 right after their first power play in the first innings. They've done a tremendous job with the ball. Ashley Van Wyk bowling a maiden, the last over of the power play. Canelo will be bowling a second from the pavilion end. Starts off with one full into the block hole. Was square driven, but they will settle for only one run, and this should be the difference. Every time the South Africa under 19s, they were looking for those doubles, pushing the fielders, of course, putting them on pressure. But Kate Awa and Rashidatu, two experienced players from the Ghanaian side, they're very, very comfortable taking only singles. Full again plays it straight back to the bowler herself.
They didn't have a chance to pair up yesterday, but today they've been there. They're showing that little bit of tenacity. It's very similar to what we saw Lucky Piety and Igbenedion Victory do yesterday. Lucky Piety was tasked with getting ongoing on the attack. Igbenedion was on the defensive side of the game. Today's Kate Awua doing the attacking, and Rashida on the defensive side seems to be working out well. The runs need to start coming now for Ghana before a wicket drop. But with that aside, there has been fantastic pairing partnership between these two duo, and remains to see just how long that they can play out.
Full again, all driven again, miscommunication by the two. Can this be another run out? Yes, the finger is up. She ends up running herself out. Is the experienced Kate Awa. Yesterday she faced 56 deliveries with her resilience, but this time round she's been sold down the road by her partner Rashidatu. Full on the occasion, played it straight. A little bit of fumble, but again they keep telling us don't run on the misfield as they pick up their second wicket. Is the South Africans under 19s. 28 for 2 after 6.4 overs.
Yesterday was the run that Rashida to initiated that saw got run out. Today the run that she declined was what ran our teammate out. Not looking very good for Ghana right now. Kate Awa seems to be their most informed player with the bat at the moment, and she is out. And now
that's the run out again. You can see her partner Rashidatu denied that single. Seemed to be communicating on different networks, sending her back. But while a take there from the wicketkeeper, who did a very good clean-up job there. 28 for 2 after 6.4. The Ghanaians have lost one of the most experienced batters in their side.
And we can attribute that to the wicketkeeper, Jay Lee. She's been very effective, took an edge off the ball of Anor Esther. Now she's gotten the most informed batter for this Ghana side. Kate Awa out via a run out. Was also there to bat in the first inning and help them get to this 168 runs that they put on the board. And she's doing her own part to make sure that Ghana stay very, very well low below that. A wicket in Canalelo's over certainly would not be attributed to her, as the run out doesn't count as the bowler's speed, but it is acknowledged in their bowling spell.
Very good collective performance, you would say, there from the South Africa under 19s. They've made sure in the power play every single run has to be earned by the Ghanaians. Pace on the occasion, white signal. What a take. Standing up to the pace bowler. She has a third man in play, fine leg, deep extra cover. Those are the only boundary riders for Canelo. And a deep square leg. New batter in, Ellen, up against the red-hotted Canelo and the South African under 19s. They need a mammoth of 140 to get in the next 80 balls. Wides again, wides on offer. Still struggling with our line and length. So So yesterday, of course, the Ghanaians are playing out all the 20 overs in the chase over 210, where they lost by 122. Where you feel the Ghanaians having not played cricket, international cricket, in the last 3 years, that was one of the positives they ticked. They would love to see if they can get closer to that target. If they play out all the 20 overs, you never know, Peter.
Yeah, hopefully we see better performances. One of the batters that helped them stay as long as they did, Kid has gone out, leaving Rashida in. Rashida still yet to get into double figures. Yesterday, at this number of balls, she was already on 14 runs. Now she's 9 runs behind on her performance yesterday before seeing herself get run out.
Much better line there from Cananelo, but the umpire says not out. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. That looked very, very close. A very good decision by the umpire. It looked like it was missing leg stump. It is the end of the 7th over. It's 30 for 2. Ashley Van Wyk will be brought back into the attack. She bowled the maiden in a very fast over. Whitish delivery there on the occasion. Straight to the fielder at mid-off. It shows you the confidence they have is the South Africa under-19s. Nobody patrolling the boundary rows of the offside, given that she is a leg break. She has a very, very good googly. There you see, spoke about the googly, and she did exactly that. As the first runs comes off her bowling is Ashley Van Wyk, one of the bowlers to watch out for in this particular tournament. She has a sleeping play, of course, a backward point, covers and mid-off. Turn and bouncer. Getting the patches out of the wicket is Ashley Van Wyk. Let's have a look at that googly once again. Very good bowling, you'd say here, Peter, from Ashley Van Wyk. Another googly on the occasion. Very smart bowler she is. Very stingy in her bowling at the young age. She's not giving them any room whatsoever to work with. Last ball to come from her second over. She's gone for only 1 run. She would love to pick up a wicket. Another dot ball to bring us to the end of the 8th is 31 for 2 after 8 overs. Another interesting 14-year-old has been brought into the attack. A young lady with a lot of talent. She played hockey for her school. She once played karate back in the days.
Started karate at 3.5 years. Was a double champion in South Africa's junior championship. Won double gold, and last year in grade 8, she won gold in hockey. She's here now playing cricket for this group. Very multi-talented player. Very beautiful speed and beautiful leg break bowling expert. Made her debut for the Dolphins this year in in the CSA Women's League back home.
Zia Mohanlal. Swing and a miss on that occasion. Very good glove work from the wicketkeeper batter. The spinners are doing wonders. They're spinning a web at this particular moment, making things very, very hard for the Ghanaians at the moment, who are looking to be out of answers. Goes again on the back footer. Gotta be very careful. She has a very good leg break that skids through.
I would say I'm not surprised for somebody so multi-talented. She is a fast learner and very good at everything she's doing. An edge that the wicket keeper missed, which is all the way to the boundary for 4 dot balls and 4 more runs for Ghana. Much to the disappointment of Zia. Look at that ball again. Was already turning in. Just lit cut, lit edge. No one expected that. And that extra, jab off the bat, saw that ball race to the boundary. Very fantastic bowling at such a young age. You don't get to see so many youngsters, diversify into so many different sports and dominate.
Coming back to the question I raised earlier to our co-commentator Andy, what were you doing at the age of 14, Peter?
I think I was probably just learning how to hold the cricket ball at that time.
Last ball to come from our very first over. Full on that occasion, enticing delivery. As they pick up yet another single, they keep the scoreboard ticking slowly and steady. Is Rashidatu alongside Alena, who is yet to open her account. 36 for the loss of 2 wickets right after the 9th over. Smartly done there by Van Wyk, given that they have had a couple of chances going down into that slip cordon. She puts in a slip in play. Wides on offer, fast up from Ashley Van Wyk. She has a slip in play. She has a backward pointer. Point and covers a mid-off. Full again, well driven but straight to the fielder at mid-off. A little bit of a fumble on the occasion, allowing these two to scamper for a quick run. Rashidatu, risky but effective. But again, coming back to our point earlier on, Rashidatu has to take matters into her own hands. You can't be exposing the new batters coming in, given that the spinners are now getting the patches out of the wicket.
The decision to bring in spinners has far worked out, and now the batters are forced to play off the bat, which Rashida is starting to do. Finds that gap, but not quick on her feet. That should have been 2 runs. They were too relaxed and they had to settle for 1. It is not like in the first inning where we saw Mika and Sofokuli running as fast as possible, and each time there was a ball in the gaps.
Sifokule in the first inning, she blew some gas. But one of the reasons, nearly knocks her over. Dipping into the right-hander, Rashidatu. She gets away with it as the umpire signals buys. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Very good, smart bowling, full dipping in. Beats everyone, including the wicketkeeper. Coming round the wicket. Wides again on offer. Not sure what she's trying to achieve at this particular time is Ashley Van Wyk. She's been bowling very well from over the wicket. I beg your pardon. Started off with the maiden, and now she's coming round the wicket.
That was a very big gamble there from Ellen Ashanti. That ball narrowly missing the leg stump. It would have not been a very beautiful way to go out, knowing that you could have prevented it and you just watched that ball. This time in front, a reaction into the glove of the wicket keeper. Ashley Van Wyk has found a line again. Late reaction from Ellen Ashanti. One more ball to end this over. 2 balls to dot. 3 is the charm. The third is the charm. This time was played to the wicket by the batter herself, Ellen Ashanti. Not so much of a performance yesterday, going out with just 5 runs on the board. Now today she goes out having just 1 run, and Rashida 2. We'll see a wicket fall, a third partnership broken.
Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Coming around the wicket, over ball from Van Wyk. Leg breaker, tries to play it on the offside, ricochets it into her own stumps as they pick up their third wicket. Is the South Africa under-19s 43 for 3 at the halfway stage over the second innings, as of course the two sides will be having a drink, and we'll be back shortly for the last 10 overs of our match day 2, game number 3 of the Women's Nigeria Invitational Tournament, to enjoy some of the highlights. And for just 43 runs, and the wickets falling here in quick succession. He just joined the commentary box and they've lost 3 wickets.
Bob, I tell you what, yesterday we spoke about the Ghanaian team being able to bat through the 20 overs. Now they're playing a more tactical team that would test your patience, and spin there is playing plenty of a difference here. We're not seeing flat spin bowling, we're seeing flighted, giving you room to want to come down the wicket. And if you're not able to use that footwork, then you're going to be in all sorts of trouble. And that's what is happening here to the Ghanaian batting lineup.
But again, that's a very good point you raised, and it comes back to the lack of games from the Ghanaians. 3 years without international cricket. It tells you a thing or two. Yes, they will take home a couple of positives. What do you think, you personally, how can we keep helping each other? Nigeria being, of course, our neighbors to Ghana. How can you invite them for a couple of series, maybe even if they play the Nigeria A side?
And clearly there has to be some deliberate action by the GCA, and because you have Nigeria just 4 or 5 hours away from the coastal states, region Lagos states, so you got to plan more international games between your country and others, plan more bilateral series, because trust me, what we've seen 3 years away, haven't played cricket at this level, and even trying to put a fight out here. It's good to see how they're trying to contend against these teams that have been playing more cricket. Rwanda yesterday, plenty of fixtures around the Cubica and stuff like that. South Africa on the 19 team playing good cricket back home, and of course they have Nigeria, so it's an opportunity for them to grow the sport. She goes across that one. The skipper just been asking a lot of questions on the wicket line. I'm sure she knows she has opportunity to get more wickets here. And she's been consistent around the middle and off stump line. And hopefully she can get one more. Oh, beautiful delivery from Maker. And that brings us to the end of the 12th over. It is 43 for 5.
Maiden wicket to start her. Spaler is the captain, Mika. Very intelligent captain she is at a very young age. Noticing that, of course, right after the 4th over, the Ghanaians were very, very comfortable playing pacer and introducing spin, where it has been a very, very big task ahead for the Ghanaians to score off for the spinners. 43 for 5 after 12 overs.
The question now is, are we going to see 5 more wickets, or they're going to bat through the innings and they're going to test every single batter from Ghana here? No hiding place, perhaps.
The beauty of this tournament, I'll tell you, Andy, it keeps everyone in check. Wides on offer there from Zia. Coming back to that youngster, Elsie Perry, she's another rare duo international athlete, most famously representing Australia in both cricket and soccer, football. So when you come back to your point of the likes of Abby de Villiers, who played hockey, rugby, cricket at the higher stage, I'm not sure we guys in Africa, we had that opportunity. I grew up playing soccer and cricket only, where I decided to stick with cricket.
But that's the thing about the school structures and systems. Once you have them in place, you get the opportunity to find natural talent. If you have 2,000 or 3,000 young cricketers involved in other sports, you just see that some of them might just have raw talent in other sports and as well cricket. So I'm not surprised with what South Africa has got. Beautiful line, big shout, and umpire Kendi Oladipo not interested in that one, but Zia has been very, very good turning the ball. Her first 2 deliveries, I wonder what she was thinking of, trying to pull the bat around her legs. Hopefully she stays consistent.
So you're going to miss again. Andy, coming back, let me put you on the spot again. Were you any good in any other sport?
Oh, well, in our days, I went to a school where rugby, cricket and football was our main sports. Oh, beautiful line. Yes, I played football, a bit of it, before I found cricket. and then it took me away. I love my cricket. How tell you, in my days it used to be whites and whites, no colored. I know. This time straight to the fielder, shot mid on. We played a bit of colored cricket in the times of the World League, but that was when there was that transition, 50 over cricket in the World League, and it was a beautiful structure. Then I enjoyed my time. A beautiful shot. This time they smuggle a single out there. Brilliant piece of field. It's a wicket. It's a wicket. Brilliant catch. Really, really unbelievable.
Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Half track on that occasion took the top edge straight to the fielder at short mid wicket, who took it as easy as you like, cool as a cucumber there at short mid wicket. Jan Lee Finlander make that the 6th wicket, picking out the 2nd wicket is here.
And she's limping there. I hope she's fine. She made that one look difficult, but it was there for the take. So I tell you, as a young boy in Nigeria, it's always between football and any other sport. But then when you see cricket, you know you love it. It's unique. Oh, brilliant piece of fielding. Very well done. Very well done by Mia Lelo. Good for her. Good for her team. 6 wickets taken now. Into the 13th over. And we have 4 wickets left for Ghanaians to make something out of this game. No, this is a hard road. However, they will be finding the little positives they can take. It's beautiful to see the amount of game sense from these young stars from yesterday and today. To see this South African under-19 team backed up by the coaching unit. I think they've got a very, very decent support staff here since they arrived, looking after the girls. A couple of runs, deep extra covers come, deep mid square leg, I beg your pardon, comes into play. And that's the end of the 13th over. The score is now 47 for 6. Current run rate just crippling around 3.6. Required climbing to 17. The skipper would continue from the Court of Appeal end. Meg Van Vox. Oh, beautiful glove work there. She's enjoying it. Jelle Philander. Just enjoying her glove work.
Sixteen runs coming off the 7-pointer. 1 overs being bowled by the spinners. Shows you how dominant they've been. Spinning a web to the Ghanaians. Full again, swing and a miss again. Another dot ball. Started off Haspel with the maiden wicket. Yet to concede a single run is the captain. Mika Van Vos leading from the front. She did her part with the bat, of course, to make sure they get to that 168. Top edger. Should be an easy catcher, and it is, of course, as they lose their 7th wicket. She picks up her 2nd wicket, is the captain leading from the front again. One of the contenders of the player of the match in this particular game. 47 for 7 after 13.3 overs.
Just there, shots, that room was there, and she was looking to go across on the leg side, but could only manage. Sky the ball just above the fielder at the slip cordon. 47 for 7. We're closing in this. South Africa showing the superiority here. 122 required of 39 balls.
That's the exact number of runs they lost against one of the favorites in this 5th edition of the Nigeria Women's T20 Invitational with Team Rwanda. They need the same amount of runs in 39 balls. Spinners have wreaked havoc, picking up 5 wickets for just 16 runs in 7.3 overs so far. Another dot ball. Ivy joins the captain, who has only faced 2 deliveries. She's been watching a lot of action from the other end. In the air this time round, who wants it? There's a fielder under that one. And another catch goes down. The new batter comes in and goes back straight away as she picks up her 3rd wicket, yet to concede a run. Is the captain, Mika van Voster. Flighted delivery, enticing delivery.
This is clearly Ghanaians being clueless here, just not understanding what is happening here. Easy catch it is. The captain having a field day. I hope we don't see records being set here. She might just get 4 or 5. And good to see how she's coming around. But she will be tested as the previous wicket.
And both of the wickets, you can tell the batters trying to play against the turner, where they've ended up chipping away easy catches. Something, of course, moving forward with their coaches. They need to start adjusting. 6 wickets being picked by the spinners of the South Africa under-19s. Something other teams need to watch out for. The 3 spinners have been tremendous. The leg break. And they have, of course, Van Wyk who bowled a very, very good googly. So it is turning out to be a very good tournament. Having been, this is their first game, is this South African under-19s. Later on this afternoon, we have a game on our hands where Team Round, of course, is going to be tasted by the Zimbabwe under-19s.
Brilliant line again from the captain. Eventually conceding now. She's been very consistent here. That ends the 14th over. It is 48 for 8. Straight up with a dot ball. That's Ashley who comes into the attack. Beautiful line. Yeah. Estatina will have to do a lot more here. She goes across the line and getting a couple, just one from that one. Playing across the line, trying to sweep it. She managed part on that one. Clearly, Ghanaians will require a lot more, but at this stage of the game, we'll just be going through motion.
Ashley Bernard, the new bowler, into the attack. Opened the batting. Didn't have a good day in the office with the batter. Still early days of the tournament. 49 for 8 for the Ghanaians inside 14.4 overs. Big give there from the captain as she gets off the mark. And the 50 comes up for the Ghanaians are inside 14.5 overs. It's been a long day for the Ghanaians in the field. But of course, they will take home a lot of positives in these particular games. The last ball to come from her very first over, she's gone for 2 runs. A lovely shot there from Esther Ernestina, picking the only fielder at the boundary ropes, and that should be the end of the 15th over. It's a 51 for 8 after 15. Hitting 118 in the next 30 deliveries is Team Ghana. Standing out to look like an impossible task for them. They were being outfoxed in all departments, courtesy of the captain herself, leading her side with a very good performance with the bat, registering the second half century of the tournament. And with the ball, of course, she's picked up 3 wickets, conceding only 1 run in her 2 overs. Magical figures, of course, one of the contenders of the player of the match. Ashley Van Wyk comes back into the attack. She picked up a wicket, gone for 7 runs. She would love to finish on a high. Can she clean up the tail? Is Ashley Van Wyk. And Stina and Jacqueline, the captain, out there in the middle.
I said to take a breather, and by the time I was back, 4 wickets have dropped.
That's how the spinners have been good for the South Africa under 19s.
It's looking like we're going to see very much of a competitive game between the South Africa under 19s and Rwanda when they face up. If you look at this match day now, you see this team Ghana side I held on to the 20th over against an informed Rwanda side struggling against the youthful South African under 19 side. A score averaging 16 for an under 19 side and an average age of 16 years. It's been so very, very active with the bat and with the ball running in between wickets very, very efficiently, and the bowling and the fielding setup has been very tight.
Lovely bowling again. A run out chance. Laura Lopiba, the umpire says that she was well in. Risky on that occasion from Ernestina and Jacqueline. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Full on that occasion. Went for a solid block, but her partner Ernestina had already taken over.
That was very, very close. Late glide of the bat into the popping crease. We would have seen ourselves go run out if not for our quick feet. Late reaction from Ernestina coming in at the tail end. She doesn't really have that batting experience that is required, and she just had to stay there for just try and see out the overs. Less than 4 overs remaining, less than 5 overs remaining at this point, and what they just want to do is just try and reduce the net run rate deficit.
Worked on the onside there from Ernestina. She is rotating the striker. Fortunately, she came in a little bit too late, I would say. As we come to the end, of course, of the 16th over, goes for only 4 runs. In her last over is Ashley Van Wyk. Picked up a wicket for only 11 runs. 55 for 8 after 16. Zia comes back from the pavilion end. Should love to finish on a high. She picked up 2 wickets, went for only 9 runs. Down the leg side, straight away, white signal by the umpire. Look at that turn from the youngster. A lot of players, of course, in the dugout geared from Team Rwanda and the Zimbabwe under-19s will be licking their fingers, especially the spinners, given the way the pitch has been offering the patches to the spinners. Should be an interesting game this afternoon. Big heave again gets an inside edge. They will be looking for the double. Can they take on the arm of the fielder in the deep? Run out chance, not the best of throws. As they pick up a double.
Ghana at this point just trying to play out the rest of the game. It's far gone off their hands. Because run rate is already at 30, above 30, and the strike rate is not more than 3.55. That gap is humongous. You look at the batting net, it's Zimbabwe preparing to score up against Rwanda later today. And coming back to this match, a very lovely flick of the wrist by Jacqueline to send the ball to the boundary to an empty leg side field. 4 more runs as Ghana look to push up. And Zimbabwe, having lost to the Nigerian women yesterday, will go up against Rwanda women, another tough opposition. It is going to be a very interesting match to watch.
Yeah, indeed, it's going to be a very good contest between the two sides. Again, listen to the celebrations right after Jacqueline, the captain, got that boundary. It tells you that the Ghanaians have come to learn. Run out chance again, not the best of throws, allowing these two to scamper for yet another single. Yesterday, they go to 88 runs in their 20 overs against Team Rwanda. They are now sitting on 62 for 8. 63, I beg your pardon, for 8 after 16.4 overs. They've done a tremendous job. A lot of credit has to go to the Ghanaians, yes, despite the fact that they have been losing games.
If the tail end can keep this and play out the rest of this over, I would see it as another positive for the team. Another flick to the leg side, and Estina, the ball's coming towards that middle stump. She's not had to do much. She's not been required to play off the front foot, and she's let her bat do all the talking, getting herself on and off strike when necessary. Jacqueline, the captain, is the one on strike. A wide and the first delivery, and a wide and the ball that's supposed to be the last delivery of Zia's final over. A little bit of change there by the bowler, wanting to bowl last ball of a bowling inning, coming all the way from around the wicket to Jacqueline. Something similar to Ashley Van Wyk, who got a wicket. Couldn't recreate that as they come to the end of the 17th over. 65 on the board for 8 wickets.
$65 for 8 after 17. But again, when you look at the way Peter Inestina, she's been batting fearlessly. I'm not sure why they can't try her up the order, given that we all know the left and right hand combination can be very tricky. You've seen the way Zia has been struggling to bowl to that combination.
I think that Ghana wanted to go with more competent hands that they felt could stay and play out the likes of Kate, Awua, and Rashida, batters that could stay and keep the game on for a very long period of time. They did not think that they were going to be, their tail end was going to be eaten into, given the level of opponent they played yesterday and the level of the opponent they are playing today. That confidence is probably what inspired that batting order.
She'll be coming round the wicket to the left-hander. Should love to clean up the tail. Well played, watchfully there from Ernestina. She is not going down without a fight. It's Ernestina and the captain, Jacqueline. Laura Piron, on that occasion, the finger is up. Look at the celebration. It tells you a thing or two. She's been brought back to clean up the tail, and she's rightfully done so. Picking up her first wicket is Cananelo.
That inability to move, that inexperience to always keep her front foot active has backfired. And Asila hasn't really done too well in terms of stepping towards the ball. And that ball was plumb on the pads. And an easy decision for the umpire. 1 wicket down, 1 more wicket. And Ernestina walks out. Oh, the batting done very, very well, close to double digits. Only 2 batters for Ghana has gone into double digits. Rachida went out on 12, as well as Kate Awua. No other batter has gone beyond 2 runs for this Ghanaian side.
Only 1 wicket to go for the South Africa under-19s to register their very first win in Nigeria. The 5th edition of the Nigeria Invitational Women's Tournament, live here at the TBS in Lagos. 66 for 9 in 17.2 overs. Can Cananelo pick up the last wicket, of course? Changing ends coming now over the wicket to the right-hander. Swing and a miss straight away, but what a very good glove work standing up to the pace bowler. Oh, nearly takes a blinder off her own bowling is Cananelo. Very good athlete she is. Let's have a look at that again on the replay.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge that effort. The ball was far over and she still went all the way in terms of making that ball. Well, she was already low, had to take time to get up, rushed everything. You have to commend that effort. I would give that effort an E.
I'll play for you a video right after this game. Mitchell Stark took a similar catch in the Ashes of his own bowling, of course. Oh, very good bowling from Cananelo again. Threatening that outside edge on a couple of occasions. 66 for 9 after 17.5.
Losing with more than 100 runs yesterday, Ghana will look to just keep this below 100. In the air it goes. Fumbled. A fumbled catch. Oh, very much too at this place. Doesn't look happy there. South Africa under 19 feel that they have rounded this up. Inexperience, taking over Estozan, played with the back arm and played that ball in the air. Rushed into that catch, and that was what prompted that drop. She had to that late shuffling to adjust, and all of that contributed to that dropped catch.
That would have been game set and dusted for the South Africans. But you could see the field got overexcited. 67 for 9 right after the 18th. We are into the penultimate over. Again, as the Ghanaians are trying out to play out all the overs.
Another batter who is not stepping in experience, also taking the lead from Esther, just a ball away to the pad from being given an LBW. Two more balls to end is over. No run off the bat. The only one considered as being a wide ball. Whether or not that bruiser has been fantastic.
Run the wicket on the occasion. Swing and a miss again. Shipping away from the right-handers.
Shaquilla has done well.
Last ball, can this be the ball? Run out chance, direct hit. Ooh. She doesn't hit the bullseye as we come to the end of the penultimate over. Last 6 deliveries to go. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Run the wicket into the pitch. A soft hands. Her partner took off. She had all the time in the world.
There was no one behind our stumps, and the only thing could do at that moment, at that point in time, was to aim for direct hit. An unlucky feat. And they protect the wicket going into the final over.
Last 6 deliveries of match day 2, game number 3. Mia Laro, the opening bowler, will be bowling the final over of the day on match day. Of course, the first game of the day. 69 for 9. Swing and a miss again from Esther. Still looking for that last wicket at the South African under 19s.
Taking complete control of this game. 100 runs needed of the next five balls. Required run is 120 at this point. Esther sent on strike by Jacquil from the last ball of the previous over. A decision that seems to be backfiring. Jacquil desperately needing to come on strike to try and put more runs on the board. And South Africa's under 19 women do everything possible to end this game on a high. No maiden yet. And just before I finished, a wicket off the last ball for South African women. First game outside of South Africa for most players, and they ended with a very lovely victory. Look at that ball again, swinging in inexperience, swing that bat into the arms of the fielder. Art covers. Beautiful game from Ghana women and South African under 19. Tried hard, but still lost with a 100-run margin and above. South Africa winning the game by 99 runs.
Let's have a look at the match summary of match day 2, game number 3. South Africa under 19 women taking on Ghana. Of course, they won the toss. They decided to have a bat faster, led by Mieke van Vos, the captain, for her second half century of the tournament. I beg your pardon. 50 of 34, and Sifokule Masilela 37 of 44. Matabile Toba contributing 17 at the back end of the innings. Kate once again contributing with 2 wickets, went for 22 runs in 4 overs. A wicket apiece from Ernestina and Rebecca, and with the chase, Ghana could not manage to play out the spinners who shared 3 wickets from the captain. Once again, one of the contestants of the player of the match picked up 3 wickets, went for only 1 run in 2 overs. Zia, another leg breaker, who picked up 2 wickets, went for 19 in her allotted 4 overs. And Mia cleaning up the tail with the last wicket, went for 7 in 2.3. And South Africa under 19 winning by 99 runs. Do not go anywhere as you do enjoy the highlights. We'll be back shortly with our mate Peter with the post-match presentation award.
Nigeria Women's Invitational Tournament and the game between South Africa and Ghana. South Africa won the toss, electing to bat first, putting up 168 on the board, with Ghana being able to chase with just 69, a decision that paid off for South Africa. Right now, we're going to call the captain of Ghana, Jacques Kokam. Jacques, welcome. Today you were sent in to field first, same thing as yesterday. You started off well in the first and second inning. What happened in the middle of the game?
They brought their spin bowlers. That's why they were able to, take off us. But we will come back and we will come back strongly then for the next game.
There were a lot of positives from yesterday's game. You guys played not all out against a very competitive Rwanda side. Considering the fact that you've been away from international cricket for a very long time. Today wasn't so lucky, but overall very good performance. Wishing the best of luck going forward. Thank you very much. And now we're going to call the captain of the South African side, Mika Farfose. Make a very good decision to bat first. The decision that paid off. You saw how fantastic your batting was, as well as the batting of Sifokule, helping your team put up 168 on the board. Very fantastic second inning, getting wickets for yourself. How does that speak about your team?
I think that just shows the growth and the discipline of these girls. I think it was a few of them first game, first experience playing international cricket. So I think going out there and showing that much of fight is really good to see.
Speaking of international cricket, you know that you and three other players played in the last year's Under-19 World Cup, and that, I would say, attributed to your confidence. Going forward, do you expect to see more players, representing your team on the national stage, international stages?
Yes, I think that obviously brings a lot of experience, having those 4 players that have already played World Cup cricket. But I think this group is really going on to a good space, and definitely there will be lots more.
Thank you very much, Mika. Looking forward to seeing more of you and the rest of the team in this tournament. And very quickly, we are going to present the Man of the Match Award, and Rajesh Pillai is going to be the man to present the Man of the Match Award to none other than a player that was very fantastic with the ball and the bat in the batting inning for South Africa, scoring 50 off 34 balls, and in the bowling only getting 3 wickets in 2 overs, considering just 1 run, and it's none other than the captain and World Cup, Under-19 World Cup finalist herself, Mika Farfose. Fantastic game from you and the rest of the team today, but you were the standout player for me, South Africa today. Mika, you in the first inning, very compact with the bat, selected your shot, found the boundary, 6 fours in the first inning. Second inning, you needed just 2 overs to pick up 3 wickets. And as a player, how good do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a good day out, but I think just thank you to the management and the rest of the team for backing me.
Thank you very much, Mika. And that is it from the middle, the post-match presentation in the Nigeria's Invitational Women's T20I. Stay with us for the second game, the game between Zimbabwe Under-19 women and the Rwanda women. Thank you very much.